All right, what's up, folks? If you are wondering what I'm doing on my bike at a race course, so am I. I'm not really sure, but it is the first PIR of the season here in the Portland area. PIR stands for Portland International Raceway. Can you see that? Portland International Raceway. We have a 2-mile track here that's built for Indy cars, and we race bikes on it on Monday nights early on. So I'm gonna record the race. This is a road race, more like a circuit race, and we'll see how it goes. You can see all my compatriots and buddies are all warming up in the parking lot, and we'll see how this goes.
All right, welcome to another edition of Lance Races His Bike Entirely Too Much. And so I'm fully aware that my brain is broken. Here at PIR, there's a big infield parking lot, and that we just kind of run circles in the parking lot while we warm up. It's always cool to show up this first race season. You see all these buddies that you've raced with over the years, and you've shared some suffering together, and we're all good people, and it's kind of our little race community, and that's one of the reasons why I love doing PIR. They do this race, I don't know, 10 or 12 times throughout the year, and we try to make it a good one. Today's weather was perfect. It was like 75 degrees and sunny, and so lots of people showed up. That field right in front of me there, that was the 1, 2, 3 field. I was racing in the 4, 5 field. The 50-year-olds are scored separately, and I had 4 or 5 teammates in this field with me, and so I just wanted to have a good time and not crash and not hurt myself and just see kind of how it goes. And so that was the plan. You can see there's the women's field going by, and we waited to give them a little bit of a cushion before he sent us off. And it makes it a little bit complicated. There's this 2-mile loop. It's actually 1.9 miles. There's going to be 3 different fields racing at the same time: the women's field, the P1, 2, 3 field, and the 4, 5 field. And so 3 different fields all racing at the same time. You have to respect each other's races, and so it makes it a little bit tricky. If you are being overtaken by another field, you call out neutral, and your race that's being overtaken by another field, you just pull to the right side, and it's supposed to let the other field go past until they're out of sight. Not really out of sight, but you just don't want to catch that other field too quickly. And then you race game back on and kind of go for it. And so that was kind of the idea. In our race, we had a little bit of confusion. This is a 4-5 field. There was probably 10 or 12 or 15 brand new people to racing, and they may not have known very well what the deal was. Here, we're coming, this is only the second lap of the race, and we are getting caught by another field. And so I'm yelling at everybody to go to the right, to get out of the way. And you can see on the left side there is the breakaway from the 1, 2, 3 field that is passing our field, and we're supposed to just be going easy. You just kind of turn the race legs off and keep motoring along. We are still motoring along at like 21 miles an hour, but this race averaged like 26 miles an hour for a 24-mile race, and so you kind of take it easy. Not long after that breakaway passed us, the whole rest of the P1, 2 field, there they go, started passing us. But a couple of the people didn't quite get the memo and weren't sure what to do. And so some people still attacked when we were supposed to be neutral. They may not have known. It's the first circuit race of the season here, and so it kind of made things a little confusing as to when we should actually get going. But eventually the race did get going back on, and actually I don't know if we ever caught that group that didn't properly go neutral when we were being passed, because it starts to get confusing as to, okay, who's in our field, who's not. You should be able to look at numbers and kind of tell more or less, but it's not always that clear to figure out. So my plan, there was probably 50 or 60 people in our field of 4 or 5 racers, And you can see here, I was trying to stay like in the front 15 or 20 people because especially in a 4-5 field, there can be some nervous, anxious moments, and you want to be able to respond to attacks. These three guys on the end of lap 3 or 4 attacked for some reason, but they didn't quite get away. You can see this guy tries to go through, and I didn't really have to dig really that hard, but enough just to kind of draw things back, and we came right back to him. So they made an attack, but they didn't really try to stick it. And so and when stuff like that happens, you can kind of bring people back here a little bit. Best part of this race for me was I ended up catching on to a train of my teammates, and it was great to just sit behind 3 of my teammates. That's Tim Dorman ahead of me. Ahead of him is Chris. Why can't I think of his last name right now? I can't. And then ahead of him is Dan Beal. And so Dan, Chris, and Tim, I kind of sat on their wheels for, there's Dan Beal right there, for 2 or 3 laps, just trying to save energy. PIR is one of those races where if you don't get in the break, you need to conserve as much energy as possible for that final sprint, because that's kind of where everything goes, is in this final sprint. And it was just gorgeous racing tonight. There were a few tense moments when things got really tight, and that makes things a little bit scary and a little bit tricky. You don't want to go down. There weren't any crashes. There were a couple of close calls. There always is. This is, road racing. You've got to race really close to people. I was way too far back at this moment, so I was just trying to move up here a little bit and try to make things kind of roll. My whole plan was to just try to sit in with the right people and with the right teammates, and eventually I caught my teammate here on the left. He was hiding in the back. This is Jin. He's super fast. He's really good. I knew that he would sprint well, so I sat on his wheel for the last 2 laps. And of course, somehow I missed the finish, because sometimes I thought I was recording it all, but race brain, it's confusing when I turn. I just don't record the whole thing because it makes it more complicated to download these videos and get them out in a timely manner. And so I missed the end. But what happened was I was right on Jin's wheel, we were sitting about 10 wheels back with about a quarter mile to go. And the pace eased up a little bit. We were doing 28 or 29 miles an hour. And when the pace eases up, at the front, we got swarmed by everybody else, of course. And when we got swarmed, the road kind of narrowed a bit, and I ended up getting pinched off Jin's wheel. And it was either bully my way through a tight spot to hold Jin's wheel, and man, it's just not worth it for me for a little practice race. This isn't really a practice race. It's real racing, but the points aren't the same as like a weekend race. This is just weekly racing practice, and so that's what's fun about this. Anyway, I ended up kind of losing my position for the final sprint, and didn't get any type of results that are worth talking about. I don't know what the results are yet. When we do these types of races, they use a race finish line camera to process the results, and that takes anywhere from 2 to 5 business days to get the actual results. So you really don't know how well you did unless you won or you were in the top 3 in the final sprint, and I wasn't. So anyway, that's the story.
All right, race is over. I didn't crash. I didn't die. Thank you, PIR, for race number 1 of the year. I was in the right position, but got pinched. And that happens. Once you got pinched, I was out. And then it wasn't worth crashing for weekend racing. All right, thanks.
I ended up riding 55 miles and just a little over 3 hours for this ride, although I did ride the 12 miles down to the course and did the 24-mile course and then rode home. So good day. Thanks for watching.